Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Rivers. I'm the managing partner for Northwestern Mutual in Kentucky and Southern Indiana. To begin this morning, I'd like to give you a little background as to our relationship with the NCAA championship floor. Last year, Northwestern Mutual became the official corporate financial planning partner to the NCAA. We also signed on as a major media sponsor for March Madness. So at the conclusion of the tournament, we were given the opportunity to purchase the championship floor. So our organization did make the decision to purchase the floor with the intent to raise lots of money for our philanthropic focus, which is pediatric cancer. So in brainstorming, we consulted with Coach Gow. And Coach Gow has turned out to be a great partner for us. He had some wonderful ideas on how we could raise more money than we ever thought possible. In fact, in a few weeks, you're going to be hearing about a special online auction where members of Big Blue Nation will have the opportunity to own a part of the floor for themselves, while at the same time helping us raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for pediatric cancer. But that's an announcement and a celebration for another day. Today is a celebration for bringing this floor back to Kentucky. A few pieces of that floor are in the truck behind me, some very iconic pieces. And these pieces will be installed in the new renovated locker room here at Rupp Arena. Now, Coach, the last time you and your players were on this floor, you created magic for all of us in the Commonwealth. And Northwestern Mutual is extremely proud to be able to play a part in not only bringing a part of that magic back to Kentucky, but to have it here in this legendary arena for many to share in for years to come. Coach Gow?
Let me just tell you how this started. I get a phone call from Dan. Don't know who he is, don't know who he works for. He said, Coach, I just bought the Final Four floor. You what? I bought the Final Four floor, and I'm calling to find out if there's anything you would like to do with it. And I said, you're asking the wrong person that kind of question. And so we talked, we got it together. We're building our locker room. This floor is going to be a central piece of the locker room area, including the locker room that the players will be in. This is exciting stuff. And I just want to thank Northwestern Mutual, Dan, and all the others who have made this possible. The greatest thing, and those of you that have followed our program know, that he started talking about how we could raise money for Children's Hospital and other things through this floor and what I helped. So I'm just proud to be here, proud to be a part of this, and just want to tell you, Dan, I thank you.
Questions?
How does buying the floor raise money for pediatric cancer?
Once again, please.
How does purchasing the floor help raise money for pediatric cancer? What were some of the ideas that Coach Gow came up with?
Well, we came up with the ideas together. In a few weeks, we're going to announce that pieces of the floor are being cut up and signed by Coach Gow and will be available via an online auction. Now, those details are still being worked out, but Coach Gow has graciously agreed to sign many, many hundreds of pieces of this floor in blocks that will be suitable for keeping forever as a keepsake. So you'll be hearing more about that at the press conference in the next few weeks.
Coach, how much had you been wanting?
Championship rings. I can tell you, this is the third locker room we've done. We did one at UMass and we did one at Memphis, and now this one. But Bill and the guys here at the Rupp Arena have tied this together. When you all get a chance to see the back hallway, after it's on coachcal.com, you'll get a chance to see the back hallway, and you will be amazed at what Bill has done, and what Steve Sherman has designed, and what these guys, and the guys working back there, Bill, they're working on it. They're going 24/7, and it's going to be done. And this locker room, because of the floor, which the bells and whistles in the locker room, more of a suite than just a locker room. That floor will be that piece, that signature piece in that locker room. And it's going to be in a big entryway. The center circle, if you remember how big it was, which is that logo, that is laid right in the center of the locker room, which is in the round. And it fits perfectly in that round area. So the entryway, the locker room area, and some other areas will have this floor down.
Whose idea was it to put it in the locker room?
Well, Dan's, when Dan called me and said, do you have any idea what you want to do with this floor? And I bust out laughing, and I said, you got the wrong guy. I'll have some ideas here in a minute, give me some time. But we called Steve Sherman, we called Bill and said, how do we incorporate this into what we're doing? And they said, we can do it. We're going to do some interesting things, like the floor is going to be down, and the mural on the wall next to the floor will be action in that game. So you'll have the sideline on the floor and have the mural with the sideline on the baseline or on the bottom. So we're doing some things to really make it like almost interactive when you walk on the floor. This is it. This is the floor we won the national title in 2012. And that was the free throw that Deron Lamb made to ice the game, and this is the free throw line he shot on. So it'll be neat. It's going to be, I'm not sure I've ever heard of any other locker room doing anything like this, but then again, it seems like here in Kentucky we do a lot of things that have never been done, so it's good stuff.
Sorry, September people are starting to talk about the next season.
Yeah, Oscar just said Happy New Year. Like, that one's over, here we go, let's go. But we'll be fine. I mean, we're not going to be as good as we were a year ago, but I'm happy with how the players are working. We have a different team. Been with Coach Hall trying to figure out, how do I play two big guys together? And he's told me, believe me, I've got some great ideas with two big guys. That was me. That's what I did. So I'll look forward to meeting with him some and talking about playing two big guys at the same time, yet being fast. I don't want to give away our speed and what we do, but I'd like to be able to play two bigs at one time.
How many states have been in this group?
So far, a lot. I was in 6 states in one day. And I got in earlier this morning, so it was kind of, and Dwayne called me thinking I wouldn't be up. Come on, Dwayne. I'm 35 years old, I got a lot of energy.
When somebody calls you up and says, I just purchased the floor, what do we do? Do you think there's a real
Well,
phone
I
call?
thought I said, who is this? What are you talking about? You know, Dan Rivers in Northwestern Mutual, I said, you bought the floor. How did you buy the floor? How did you come across? Well, we were sponsored for the NCAA, the official sponsor, and they gave us an opportunity, and I said, you mean you got the whole floor? The whole floor, Coach. Wall to wall, we got the floor. You got to be kidding. And we went on from there, and then he said, I got some people. We got on a conference call, and we talked for 35 minutes, and all of a sudden the ideas were flying. And, you know, there were some things that they wanted to do and we wanted to do, and we just got together. It's going to be beneficial for our state. That's the greatest thing. And Dan stepped up to say, look, I want to use this for charity. I want to use it for you guys. I want this thing to really, what we paid for it, I'd like to get 100 times out of it. And that's what they're working for. I mean, which is kind of neat.
Man, what you paid for it?
Well, that was worked out with our corporate office and the NCAA. Suffice it to say that we plan to raise many times what was paid for the floor, and 100% of the money that we raise from proceeds of this auction will go not only to charity, but will go to charities here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So again, you'll be hearing a lot more about that in the coming weeks. We have members, Dr. Wallace earlier from Kentucky Children's Hospital, we got a number of partners here in Kentucky that share our mission to really make a dent in this race to cure pediatric cancer. And so with Coach's help, his marketing prowess, I have no doubt that we're going to raise many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Can you throw a ballpark figure out there?
You're not going to tell us how much you paid for it?
Ballpark
Paid
figure.
$1.6 million. No, he's not going to tell you.
John, do you see the floor at all as a motivating thing, its presence in the locker room for guys, not only this coming year, but going forward?
Yeah, I don't, look, last year's done. This is about each team being their best. That's all I worry about. How do we make this team the best team we can be? But it does motivate when we're bringing families in there and recruits in there, and all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute. So yes, it's going to be a motivating factor in us continuing to get the best and the brightest players here. Like I said, it's a players first program, and they drag us where we want to go, and they drag us to a couple Final Fours and an Elite Eight and a national title, and that's what we want. And so, but it's, you know, we don't talk much about last year in this team. We only had one player, and he didn't play a whole lot in that game. So, Kyle Wilson.
Dan, how much will those pieces go for? Or will they be